All right, let's continue learning a little bit more about inheritance. This part's really important if you're going to use inheritance because sometimes you want to inherit the code from another object, but you want to modify the event. What I'm going to do in this one is I'm actually going to take the skeletons, the spiders, and the ghosts, and I'm going to make one so it doesn't move, one so it moves, and one so it moves and fires. So it's similar, but there's differences, right? So I just want to show you the tricks and pitfalls you got to watch out for when setting parent objects here. So what I've done in the background here is I've actually taken the code from before. I've made this parent object called monster. And I've assigned ghost to have monster as a parent. And I've also got spider has the monster as a parent, and the skeleton has the monster as the parent. So when we run the program, the step method in monster basically randomly moves these guys around. So they all sort of once in a while turn and move. Okay, so that's the code they've inherited. Now, what I want to do is I want to make it so the ghost doesn't move around at all. So this one's easy. So let's just go to the ghost. And since I know the moving code, sorry, I'll pop back to the monster here. Since I know my moving code was inside of step, just a little random direction and speed change, all I have to do is really add one line of code to the step event of the ghost. And that will override this code, and it won't happen anymore. So let's do that. So ghost, add event, step, and let's just go put, you don't have to type that there, but override event, whatever, one space bar. I don't even know if you need one space bar. You just need this code thing here. And that's it. And now you can see when we run it, the ghost no longer inherits that step event. So the other guys are going to move, but the ghosts will not move. Okay, so you see it working. So sometimes that's not a bad thing. So we're done with ghost. Now what I want to do is I want to go to the skeleton. I'd like to add a little extra to the skeleton. I'd like them to be able to randomly fire a hamburger at the player. Okay, a little weird, but it'll work here for demonstration purposes. I've written a script, random fire. Okay, picks a number, fires a burger. So I'll just use that. So here's what a lot of beginners will do. They'll say, okay, my skeleton's walking around, all's good. Let's go to the skeleton. Let's go to the step event. And let's add some, they call it some extra code, and let's go random fire. All right, we'll use that script. And then they go to run it. And then when they're running it, they notice something. They notice, yes, it's firing, but now those skeletons aren't working anymore. And again, this is emphasizing the point. You added some code into the step event of the child. The child did not inherit that step event code, so that walking code from the monster has not been passed on. Okay, you've overridden it. But let's say you really want it. Here's what you do. GameMaker has a nice event, a nice script method called event inherited. And basically what it does is it will event inherited. It will call the step event, since we're coding inside of the step event. It'll call the step event of its parent, and its parent is monster. So it'll jump up to monster, it'll run all the code in the step event, then when it's finished, it'll run random fire. So you get the best of both worlds here. We're building on basically. So anytime you want to add on extra function and behavior to your objects, what you do is you call it event inherited first, then you start tagging on your own, your own code down here, and now you've got extra. And so when this is set up, what we should now see is our skeletons still moving from the monster code, and they get their fire code. There we go. Not bad, right? And just as a little reinforcement here, they're all sort of moving slowly. Just to remind you what you can do is you'll see here in the monster code, I'd given all these objects a top speed of 4, which was used inside of the random moving step event code. Remember, you can always do this trick, right? So there's create. You got a bunch of stuff being done there. What I can now do is I could go to my ghost, and let's say you want him to move a little faster. Oh wait, the ghost doesn't move. Let's do it in the skeleton. Let's go add event create. Let's go top speed is 12. But remember, that's now wiping out the create code from the monster, which had an extra line there about the image speed. So let's just do a little event inherited. So it runs the original constructor. And just to refresh you, the original constructor, I shouldn't say constructor, the original create method, top speed and image speed were set. And then after that, it ends up resetting the top speed to 12. And so now when we run it, this object actually has its own faster top speed. So this is a really common thing you end up doing using inheritance. You sort of rewrite some variables, you override some events, and you use event inherited. And it looks silly here, but you know, it demonstrates the concepts. The next video, we're going to show you one last thing about inheritance that's really quick, and it's just the whole idea of now that these things are all considered monsters, what does this let you do nice and easily? Thanks for watching. We'll see you then.